All right. Hey, folks, this is Mark Henry. I'm just going to adjust the camera a little bit. Try to see if I can get it all right. And I am here for another YouTube Live. So I hope that some of you at least, saw my notification through YouTube that I would be on here and that you are welcome to join me for a friendly chat to go over some of the videos that I've done recently, in case you are interested in them. I'm finding that the book reviews that I've been doing seem to be a little more popular than the other videos. So I'm happy to at least assume that there are a lot of you all are interested in doing research and reading and applying what you learn. Because that's always important. It's fun to have a little bit of information to learn about the paranormal and the occult. Then there are other instances where it's important to actually apply it. There are plenty of people who think that they know because they've been reading books, but they don't have any personal experience with it. So their knowledge is actually limited. We call those armchair occultists. So, okay, we got one person. Good to see you here, friend. And I don't know what the weather is like where you all are, but I am in the deep south, so usually these months are the rainy season, especially the rainy season. So right now we are towards the end of July, and I believe July is our hottest month. It's also one of our wettest months. So I'm in Northwest Missouri. Hey, Elijah. Okay. Yeah, it's our hottest month. So the way I look at it is okay, so we're entering August and September as after that. So we are on the downslope as far as that. That being said, since I am in the deep south, hurricane season has not even reached its peak yet. So that happens the first week of September. So there is a lot to pay attention to when you live down here. Uh, Most of our hurricanes, at least the most devastating ones, have come in August and the beginning of September. So I always think about it, okay, so if we can get through maybe the middle of September, we're good. I used to love hurricanes when I was little because, it's like, yay, get out of school. Then you become a homeowner, and then you realize that these things can cause real damage. Yes. So I guess that is part of growing up and acquiring things. More snowy tornado, sometimes flood areas. Okay. Well, those tornadoes are can be pretty scary. I've watched a lot of videos. We have some that touch down around here, and but I don't think that our tornadoes compare to the Midwest. I mean, even the Wizard of Oz, that was Kansas. That was a hell of a tornado, wasn't it? So, we talked about the weather. All right. So, let's see. One of the things that I do like about the rain is it does cool things off. It gets really hot around here. Last year we had actually a drought, and Louisiana never has droughts like this. I mean, we were under fire warnings and things like that. Uh, we had fire warnings, which doesn't happen very often because it was so dry. So when I thought about that, I thought of my friend in California, you know, and the the fire stuff that happens around there. But we got up to 106, which was a record last year. And that was no fun because with us down here, we have the Gulf of Mexico, which produces a lot of moisture. So our humidity is very high compared to a lot of other states. So to have 106 and 90 to 100% humidity, it can feel like 120, 125, like way up there. So, well, anyway, we got 3 people. I was thinking about doing a video in the near future, and let me know if anybody would be interested in watching it. Is that one thing? I've done a lot of videos, and one of the things I haven't really gotten into is the impact of alcohol and drugs on psychic receptivity or magic. Does it help it? Does it harm it? What happens? What does the literature say? What are people's personal experiences? Obviously, it has some of them have certain spiritual effects, some positive psychic, or I mean psychic like in precognitive or clairvoyant abilities. I mean like the mind, psyche. Obviously, it can be transformative in certain ways, but I haven't really looked into how that affects things metaphysically. So that is what I've been thinking about today. So I guess let's start to talk about, I guess, some of the videos I've done in the last few weeks. So I did one, laughter as a tool of therapy. And I'm someone who enjoys things like improv and stand-up comedy, and I have a little bit of experience with both. So laughter, apart from how it might affect any type of work in the occult, it's just very healing in itself. I think there's been numerous studies, and I've done some research in it about how it can positively affect pretty much every major organ of your body, your heart. It can lower blood pressure long term. Um, it really helps release tension in the muscles. It really helps with stress. There's just so many positive benefits from it. So, what I was thinking when I was creating the video is, what are people using laughter for other purposes in the context of this channel? And it's true that, especially with chaos magicians, some of them are using laughter as a form of. No, I have not read that book, but I will check it out. Is it good? Beneficium. Hmm. It's used for in a lot of different ways. One is that if you are, let's say you believe in, I believe that people are far less cursed or under psychic attack than they would believe. A lot of times it's when things are going wrong in someone's life, there are other culprits involved, there are other causes. It could be environmental stuff, it could be mental health issues. Um, a lot of these different things can cause bad luck to occur, and even someone who makes a series of bad choices it can appear that bad luck is following them for a long period of time. So, that being said, one of the best ways of disconnecting some of the, I guess, well, with curses, with psychic attacks, it'll show up in certain ways, and laughter can disconnect you from those things. Sometimes it'll show up as paranoia, high anxiety. It could be like I said, things just don't seem right. Things aren't going right, out of step with reality. A lot of times, laughter, humor, and all of these sorts of kind of, so I consider them kind of a little bit higher vibrational feelings because when we think about, cool, when we think about all this, is that with psychic attack, there is this heaviness, there is this seriousness, there's this, a little bit of like tension and fight or flight type of stuff. So laughter, when it happens, it's detaching you from that, it's releasing tension, and it's just you're sending a message to your brain when you're laughing that everything is okay, everything is cool, you're enjoying your life. And that is something that one can do if they suspect that they are under some type of influence that is harming them. Now, I'm not saying that is the only thing that needs to be done or can be done, but that is definitely a good first step. You're tickling your frontal lobe when you laugh. Yep, I like that idea. Yeah, so laughter is a really cool thing. I encourage everyone that if you find yourself getting stressed or depressed or those sorts of things, to try to integrate more humor and laughter in your life, whether it be watching more comedies, watching stand up, um, all those sorts of things. It will really shift your ability to, I guess, just process reality differently. There is a practice, and you all can look this up. You can on YouTube if you like, uh, because there are a lot of videos on it and show you how to go through the exercise. Something called laughter yoga. And laughter yoga basically is a combination of breath work, exercises, and I guess you can say at the beginning, maybe pretend laughter. There's research that suggests that even pretend laughter, going through the motions of laughter, even when you're not genuinely laughing, also has some stress benefits and some health benefits. And what's surprising is that when you're doing this laughter yoga stuff, the breathing, I think, creates space for you to do that, maybe release a little tension to make it a little bit easier. But then you find yourself genuinely laughing because you've started the process of doing the pretend laughing. So I've participated in a couple sessions of that before online. It's pretty cool. But I think it's a just as a a general practice, trying to integrate that more in your life. Maybe study stand-up comedy or take a class on improv. Your ability to do this could also help you easily connect with people. People like to laugh and have a good time around others that make them laugh. All right, so let's, I guess, briefly go through. A thing I'd like to do is the event someone is blatantly psych attacking me is to stand up back with bare feet, let it flow down through me into the ground. Yeah, well, that's a good idea. Take that energy and let it kind of move through you. If it doesn't stick, if you keep it moving, it's got to go somewhere. Just let it not be in you. All right, so the other video I did was did a book review. And like I said earlier, is that I'm getting some good feedback on the book reviews, and I'm happy that you all are enjoying that and are possibly reading books and doing research and trying to implement it. So the book is by Damon Brand. Greater Words of Power: The Secret Calls of the Archangels, which is a Gallery of Magic book. And I actually am a fan of this book. I've done at least 6 of the rituals, and they have worked to one degree or another. I'm pretty certain of it. So I like it also because it is simple and it's easy. We live in a world today where it feels like we are pressed for time, and we have to be really good at time management to get everything done that we want to, as far as our responsibilities, and even to schedule time for things we want to do, you know? And these books have greatly assisted people and be able to influence their reality. A.G. Manning, founder of ESP Lab. I've read a book by Al.G. Manning. I'm trying to remember. Maybe was he the one who wrote Helping Yourself with ESP? Maybe. But I know I've read 1 or 2 of his books. Yeah, yeah. That was, I read that one, and I think there was one called Another Reward Classic Books, which I used to love that particular publishing. I think it was called Psychic Energy Power or something like that. It was the same type of cover, except it was, I think it was black. And the Helping Yourself with ESP was like a bluish cover that I remember. Yeah. So yeah, that was very fun. I like reward classics back then because they would give these little stories about people that was using the particular techniques described in the chapter. And I always loved that. I used to practice that all the time when I was like an early teen. What's funny is that, those books were published decades before I even got to them. And, when I can't even say I was 13. I might have been like 10 or 11 when I got those. But I remember thinking that because it was in the bookstore, maybe it was just published and I was getting something groundbreaking, but actually it had been published decades before, like in maybe the 60s or early 70s or something. Anyway, I digress. So the book, the Greater Words of Power, is like 108 pages. It has like 30 rituals in it. Easy to read. I believe that those types of books that the Gallery of Magic put out, especially ones that are that small, it's like, okay, we wanted to create something where people can, within an hour, if they want to, they can start working this thing, rather than having a really thick tome of writing that is several hundred pages, and you need to kind of go through it, you need to digest it, um, which is important when those types of books would give you a ritual, because it could be very involved. And I suspect they were like, no, we want to do something different. We understand that for one reason or another that our attention spans have dwindled in the last couple of decades. And so we're going to do this for them. So it's really easy to do the rituals in the book. Helping Yourself with White Witchcraft. I have that one too on my shelf. So it is about 30 rituals. I like the one about helping yourself sleep. That actually has I've gotten some success with that. I've done it like maybe 10 minutes before actually going to sleep. There's one on anxiety. There's one on improving mood. Um, Recovering lost objects. There are a lot of different kind of cool little things that you can do. And you only have to do it really once, and then it'll have an effect. And if it later on you want to having some of the same problems, you can do it again. But once you understand the instructions and you go through each of the individual topics, I mean, it's one ritual, one process to go through all 30. You do it exactly the same. It's just different content plugged into the actual structure, but you can go through it in once you understand and have done it once or twice, probably a minute, like 60 seconds, you can go through the whole thing. So just involves quite a few of the Gallery of Magic books have something they call emotional alchemy. So that is the transformation of your emotions. You may start a ritual trying to create or conjure a feeling within you of, let's say you were to work on money magic, a feeling of maybe scarcity or maybe a little stress revolving around your um, issues with money, not having money, not you may be afraid of not being able to pay the bills, and then you will start going through and scanning the Hebrew from right to left because that's how it's actually done. And you will imagine what it would be like when that's not there, the relief, the satisfaction. And you go through the Hebrew, and then with this book, you go through and you say the sacred names. Some of them are the archangel names, and you will continue with that and conjuring a feeling of gratitude for it to already have occurred. The restful sleep or the positive mood or whatever it is. And at the end, I say thank you, of course. But that is pretty much the process for the rituals. Like I said, it's simple and it's easy. And one of the things that people don't always like about it is because it's almost like they say it's like fast food occultism. There are people who who want the longer books. They want to mull over the theories and the gods, goddesses, and spirits and really understand them and do the rituals. This doesn't give you a lot of that, very little to none at all. I went through it, and there was hardly any explanation about which archangels you're working with and what they do or anything like that. That being said, that's in other books of theirs that are a little bit longer, so they don't leave that out of all of their works. But they've written some books on angel magic, so you can find those too. I want to say they've written at least between 10 and 20 books. I don't know exactly, but you can usually find something that they like. The last one I want to say was on the Holy Guardian Angel and how to contact it, and that was like 60 pages. But it's not a complicated process. In the past, when you look at some of Crowley's work and stuff, this was like a 18-month process of fasting, prayers, and all sorts of things. But it's not necessary for a lot of people. All right, folks. That is the majority of what I wanted to cover today. Just to remind you all who are connected with me on my Facebook page. The Facebook page, it's actually, let me clarify that. It's a Facebook group. I have a group for people who are interested in the attunements in my attunement store. And, they're there, they can chat. They can sometimes get files on the in the in the group, and they're aware of when I post to a new attunement in my attunement store. So I have an attunement store. For those of you who don't know me, I offer spirit attunements. People can channel the energy of certain spirits if they want to make certain changes to their lives, they want to improve their magic, that sort of thing. So I'll put a link in the description. I recently put Vasago in, the Goetic spirit. So if you feel like people are gossiping about you, hiding things from you, they're almost like there is some information or something that may be kept from you, then he is the person to go to. So it is about secrets and the hidden, the hidden. And before that, I think I did one on the Buddha. So I like that energy, very calming. It's very good for developing compassion. If you feel like that's something short in your toolbox, for those people who say, I really don't like people, that might be, the Buddha might be, yeah, that might be something that would be valuable. Because if people are upsetting you and you don't have as much compassion, then it actually affects you because here you are, you're at the mercy of all these people around you who are creating, in a way, feelings. You have feelings about them all. So sometimes a little bit of compassion, not necessarily that you have to be a doormat, of course. Sometimes a little bit of compassion can release a lot of that tension, a lot of that, those ill feelings. In any case, friends, I think I'm going to go there. I'm going to go and probably eat dinner. So I enjoyed meeting with you, you five people. Thanks for listening and participating. Mr. Elijah, thanks for the comments. I appreciate it. And of course, I'm going to post this on the channel for anyone who wants to review it and look at it again. All right. Well, I will talk to you folks later, and I hope that you have a great weekend and stay safe.